So the 10th step goes like this. It takes you back to probably, if you're in the middle of a 4th step now, or if you're not there yet, that's good too. But if you're in the middle of a 4th step, probably a lot of that 4th step is really painful. And you're probably thinking, God, I hope I never go through this again. And if you read ahead, now you find the 10th step, and the 10th step is connected to that 4th step. And this is what it says. I continued to take a personal inventory, and when I was wrong, I promptly admitted it. That seems like so much more clear and so much more healing and so much more freeing than what I probably originally heard in the 4th step. You know, that taking of a personal inventory and laying all my stuff out in God and somebody else, that seemed like a lot. But here I am now, and I'm at the 10th step, and if I've gotten this far, I'm seeing the glory of God in a lot of the later steps. I'm seeing the freedom of God in a lot of the later steps. I'm hearing the love of God in Jesus in a lot of these later steps. And this step, I love the way that it just reads. I continued, kind of like on a daily basis, to take a personal inventory, and when I was wrong, I promptly admitted it. Like, if you're doing a 4th step now, or if you've done one before, or if you're not there yet, it's all fine. But I mean, like, you do that first 4th step, it's probably going to take you several days. It's going to be a real challenge. You're going to be challenged by what you write down. You're going to be challenged by what you share with somebody else. And I mean, it's hard. And like this thing, you get to this step now, after all the steps between 4 and 10, all the healing that goes on between 4 and 10, and you're like, well, this step actually sounds very matter of fact. It doesn't sound like it's an overwhelming challenge. It doesn't sound out of the ordinary. It doesn't sound extraordinary. It doesn't sound like anything like that. And like that, these later steps, what they do is they build you to a place of the statement at the very end that goes, the 12th step that goes, having had a spiritual experience, having met Jesus, having been in the face of God, sitting down with God and having him tell me how much he loves me, being completely and fully accepted in the arms of Jesus. Having had that experience, I wanted to carry this message, that freedom, that joy, that grace, that peace to other people and have them have the same experience as me. If you did not work steps 4 through 12 or 4 through 10, it means that probably you can't wait to get through these steps. Like, you don't like them. You wish we'd talk about something else. You wish we would go on and like avoid them. You wish a lot of things, but this has not been a good experience for you because probably you missed the grace and the love and the peace that should have shown up in the 1st step and the 2nd step and the 3rd step and the 4th step. Like, we want to believe that step 4 is pretty much punitive. It's pretty much judgmental. It's pretty much about our wrongdoing. It's pretty much about, you should have never acted like that. But the fact of the matter is, step 4 is like the combination of steps 1 and steps 2 and step 3. What do they say? They talked about what I'm talking about. How loved I am. How cared for I am. How much loving power God has. How God is seeking to recreate me and set me free. How God is seeking to show me my heart and make my heart give me a new heart. That's what that's all about. That's what those steps are really all about. There's an alternative I wrote down to this step. First one, continue to take a personal inventory, which is a daily experience. Take less than 10 minutes. Probably the best 10 minutes you'll ever spend in your day. And promptly admit when I was wrong, promptly admitted it. Well, here's a step 10 alternative. I avoided taking personal responsibility. I avoided taking personal inventory at all costs. And when I was wrong, I promptly developed a great story to cover it and developed a lifelong fear that I would get found out. That's the alternative. If I do not allow the love of Jesus to become a part of these steps, if I do not see my confidence in the acceptance and the grace of Jesus begin to fill me step by step by step, I'm stuck with that alternative. I'm stuck with the fact that the one thing I got to do is avoid honesty, rigorous or not, at all costs. I developed this lifelong fear that I would get found out. And so out of that fear comes the belief that this step is saying to me, which it's not, but that this step is saying to me that now my job, if there's something wrong, is to fix it. And so in trying to fix it, I'm doing one of two things. I'm either making myself a hero or I'm making myself a victim. So fix it, not really helpful. Forget it, not really helpful. Move on, not really helpful. Continue to take a personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. Helpful and freeing. Because what I got to do when I'm doing this mini inventory every week, every day, what I'm really doing is I'm really settling, coming to terms with the past 24 hours. What went wrong? And we're going to go through the handout we gave you, but I'm settling with the past. What went wrong today? What went right today? What did I do well today? How did I honor Jesus today? How did I love him today? And maybe for a lot of us, the important question, how did I allow Jesus, how did I allow him to put his arms around me and love me today? How did I allow him to lovingly wring the insecurity that I woke up with out of me throughout the day? How did I do that? When I settle with the past, whatever my past is, and it's hard to go through these steps and not reckon with what happened, why it happened, who it happened to, what you did, why you did it, how you did it. It's hard not to do that. But what makes it a little bit easier, I think, when you're trying to settle with your past is you take a piece of it every single day and you bring it out. Maybe it's a repeat piece. Usually in a lot of ways, this step takes you to the repeat pieces like, oh, that happened 2 weeks ago. That happened last week. I kind of got really agitated. That's a good word, but I suppose agitated in traffic because instead of it taking me 19 minutes to get to work, it took me 27. Every morning when I wake up, I kind of watch the local news. So they get on there and they go, well, it's going to be 27 minutes from the split at 40 and 75 to downtown, or it's going to be 31 minutes. It's man, do we really know how good we have it here? If you were in LA or New York City, it's going to take you 4 days, 4 full freaking days to get from here to downtown. It's really kind of what we go through. It's kind of like nothing. So it's like that thing of settling with our past, though. We take a piece of our past every day. We go to work on it every day. We put it with God every day. and we ask this question, how do I take this piece of upset? How do I take this piece in my life that is broken? How do I take this piece that I'm still regretting? How do I take this piece that I still feel guilty about? And how do I make it healthy and at rest with and in my soul? How do I do that? Because I really think without this, without asking this question at the end of, close to the end of these steps now, there's really going to be no peace without this work. Like, if we find ourselves blowing this step off and we're not doing this 10-minute or less daily inventory, do it in the morning, do it at night, do it in the car, maybe, do it whenever. Without this little 10-minute piece, things just can build and build and build. There's probably not going to be real and lasting peace without this work and without learning to do this work. Good questions come up out of this work. Where did I get stuck today? Where did I get stuck today? Where did I find a repeating pattern that came from what happened to me previously today? Where do I see the old pattern becoming a part of the current life today? Where did I get stuck today? Where did I have difficulty today? Sometimes when you're taking this inventory, maybe you have somebody who is a really good friend. Maybe it's a spouse. Maybe it's a loved one. Maybe it's a parent. I don't know. But to ask this question, maybe not every day, but ask this question once in a while. Do you feel like in this particular exchange, what I said and what you said and all this, do you feel like I did or said something that was wrong? That's just a good question to ask. It doesn't mean you got to accept what you're being told. It just means you're asking. You're asking. You don't have to take what someone's telling you at face value. I think that's an important question to ask. I also think to ask a question like that, man, did I hurt your feelings today? You got to have enough security of being loved by Jesus to be able to ask a question like that and not feel like you're about to get overwhelmed by guilt. Did something go wrong? Did I do something to hurt you? Did that happen? I think that's also kind of a part of this 10th step. Maybe it's an extension of this, but I think that's a good question. If you go and you look at these handouts, the handout ones that I gave you, that you have, there's some really good questions that come out of this. Inventory questions for this 10th step are kind of like these. Was I resentful about something today? Did I start off being resentful about the fact that, I bought this $285 Ninja Superstar coffee maker and the damn thing boiled over and messed up my countertops and messed up my cabinets and went off in the middle of the night and did this and did that, and now I'm ripping torqued about the whole thing, and that's so far, it's 10 o'clock in the morning and that's my day. Because you can actually take a mini 10th step at any point in the day. I'm going to recommend do it first thing in the morning, do it at night before you go to bed, whatever. But I think those are two good times. But you can actually take a 10th step whenever. Was I resentful about something or someone, and what was it? Next question. Was there anything in my day today that caused me to be dishonest? Dishonest. Question number 3. Did I promptly admit when I was wrong today? Or did I make up rationales and excuses for what happened? Kind of like going back to my other version of the 10th step. Question number 4. Do I owe anybody in my life an apology? And am I willing to make that apology? And I would kind of add, am I willing to make that apology, because the word promptly goes in this step? Am I willing to make this apology in a reasonably prompt fashion? That's 4. Number 5 says this: did I do or say something today out of fear? Oh my gosh. That for yours truly would be like a showstopper. Did I do it out of fear? Did I do it out of thinking something bad could happen? Did I do that? Did I make accommodations to try to manage or control something I have no business managing or controlling, because the alternative would be that I would be afraid, that it would scare me? Did I do or say anything today out of fear? Question 6. This is a hard one. Have I kept something to myself which should have been discussed with another person at once? So if you're unwilling to do that, what does that probably mean? Could mean that you're afraid of what they're going to say and how they're going to say it. It could mean that you really don't want to hear what their answer might be. It could be that you'd be giving up control over what they're going to say or what they're going to feel or how they're going to explain what's going on with them. It could be that you would like to find a way to manage how they're really going to feel. It could be that if they don't feel the way you would like them to feel, you're going to resent that. It could be all of that. Have you kept something to yourself which should be discussed with another person at once? Did you today think of what you could do for other people? Did you do that? Were you living in a graceful, open way? Were you living in a way that would take you to the question of kind of like, if I'm a Christian and if I'm a representative of Jesus, how is Jesus influencing me right now? And how is Jesus affecting the way I'm functioning right now? And if I'm looking at you and looking at what other people are going through, would I be willing to help you? Or would I say, you know, this idiot did it to himself. He's broke because he blew all of his money. He's broke because A, B, and C. It's like, okay, but he's still broke. He still needs a bottle of water. He still needs a place to be reasonably safe and lay down. He needs the basics. Needs a blanket. Needs a pillow. Needs something. Did I think today of stuff that I could do for others? And maybe the hardest piece of that is without judgment. You know, like we have operated this warming shelter for a few years now. And if you came there on any given night, some of you serve there, you would see people that are challenged at a variety of different levels. And on almost every night between 10 o'clock and 1 o'clock, you're going to see a police cruiser pull up here, and the police will have brought somebody here for one of two reasons. Either number one, they're getting into some kind of domestic thing, and so at their house, and so the police are trying to help them find a place to cool down and stay out of jail. But there's another reason, and the other reason is they find people that are at risk for their life. It's too cold. They don't have the right kind of stuff, right kind of clothes. They don't have the right kind of shoes. Lots of times when they pull up, people are basically barefoot. And, you know, we keep some sneakers, some socks, all of that to be able to, like, help with that. But it's like, you could ask a lot of questions. You can go, look, you dummy, you should have saved up your money and had some shoes. But at 11 o'clock at night, at 12 o'clock, at 1 o'clock in the morning, you can basically blow them off and go back out there with your bare feet. You're on your own. Maybe next time you'll learn. Or you can go, you know what? We're just going to give them a pair of shoes. Why are we doing that? We're doing that because we've taken a personal inventory of ourselves. And we've said, can I imagine something like that happening to me? Can I imagine a certain situation where that could have happened to me? Can I imagine what it would be like for me to kind of rediscover? Because it gets to a point where so many bad things can happen to you, you kind of can lose your capacity for, like, I guess what you would call empathy. You lose your ability to care for the needs of somebody else. It's not that everything you're saying about what's happened to them is wrong. It's not that they might not be responsible for some of what happened, but empathy doesn't really go to that. Jesus, if you read the story of the Good Samaritan, there's no inquiry about the Good Samaritan, really, right? I mean, if you go read in the Bible the story about the Good Samaritan. It goes, a guy was walking down the road. He gets beat up. Did he deserve to get beat up? Don't know that. Did he do something wrong to get beat up? Don't know that. What we do know is he gets beat up. Next guy comes along, sees him in a lot of trouble. What does he do? He cares for him. He binds him up. He takes responsibility to get him to a safe place at the right time and tells the person, I will take responsibility for his immediate care. You're like, man, you shouldn't have done that. You should not have done that. That would be like this thing right here, number 7. Did I think today of stuff that I could do for others? Number 8 says this. Was I kind and was I loving to people that I met? Some people yes, some people no. It's an honest assessment of what happened. There's no shame in that. There's just truth in that. Number 9 says this. Did I reach out to someone in recovery today to see how they were doing? Did I reach out to someone in recovery today to see how they were doing? Not how I was doing, not I have this need, I have this, but did I check them out and say, how are you doing? Step 10 says, did I take the time to connect with my higher power through prayer and meditation today? It's like, it takes you all back to those 10 pieces. You can go through those 10 pieces in about 10 or 15 minutes max. It takes you to the definition of the word promptly. If you do something like that every day, and I think that roadmap is as good as any, it takes you to the reality of doing this work promptly. Deliberately working at this step means inviting the Holy Spirit into it. Inviting the Holy Spirit in. It means I daily clean house. I daily clean my house, my heart, my soul, my purpose, my relationship with God, my relationship with people that I love, my relationship with my friends. I daily clean house. What it is, it's a tremendous spiritual antidote for what the enemy wants to do in our lives. John says this, the enemy has one purpose. The purpose of the enemy is to kill and steal and destroy. I have one purpose. My purpose is to give you a rich and satisfying life. It's a step like this one that's going to take us to that rich and satisfying life. We can choose to spend the 10 minutes to get there. We can choose to spend the 10 minutes to see the face of Jesus. I mean, if I put it that way, and you didn't hear this as some kind of a hotshot spiritual discipline, would it change things if I said, hey, would you be willing to take 10 minutes out of your life every day to do a very simple thing, and that is see the face of Jesus? Put your hands onto the face of Jesus. Would it change things? Would it change this step? Would it change what I think Jesus is asking you to do? Not for his sake, but for yours. In his sweet name, amen.